Hey, Bergen County, it's Ryan Gibbons from North Jersey Partners, and I have some great information for homeowners. If I told you that the average home under $1 million increased 9% for about $45,000 in new equity, would that be of interest to you? Well, that's some of the information we're going to share today on the Bergen County Market Update, looking back at 2020 and see what happened and see what's going to happen in 2021 to make sure you are an educated buyer and seller. So let's take a look at our Bergen County Market Update. So thanks for watching. Ryan Gibbons from North Jersey Partners here, and we're going to go through the numbers of what happened in 2020, a year many of you might have wanted to forget, but we're going to take a look at that and we're going to see what's going on into 2021. So first off, 7,800 homes sold in Bergen County. That's a 9% increase. Not really a shock. I'm sure in your community you saw a lot of houses hitting the market and going quickly. So seeing an increase in that, not really a big deal, or not really a big shock. We also saw 9,615 houses go under contract. So that means that they accepted a contract on a house that was listed for sale, plus 14%. Some of those didn't work out. They came back on the market. Some of them didn't actually even sell. That's why we see that number a bit higher than the amount of solds. And some of those are still pending. Big problem though. We saw a 5% decrease in the amount of new houses that hit the market. So we saw 10,812 houses hit the market, 5% decrease. So that's where we've continued to have a problem. Less houses. Now this year we had an increase in the amount of buyers. Why did we have an increase in the amount of buyers? Interest rates were low. We had a sub-3 interest rate for a big part of the year, and we had a lot of people that either didn't need to live in the city anymore for work, or were living in the city and realized that they wanted a little more space. Where do you go? Bergen County, we have more space. Values are a lot better than in, say, Manhattan, Jersey City, more city places. So, a lot more buyers, a lot less inventory. That's where we come into our problem. But for our sellers and our homeowners, the big advantage was that now the average sales price in Bergen County over 2020 was $684,949. So basically $685,000 was the average sales price. That's a 13% increase. Now that's not healthy. We can't continue to go at those levels because you know what happens when you go too high, you're going to have a drop. But that was a $79,000 increase over 2019. So that's the whole breadth. So that's everywhere, you know, even the multi-million dollar houses. That's why that number is quite high. At the end of the video, we're going to show you some of those segments that did really well and the big differences for two main segments of the market. So next, again, as we said earlier, the inventory has dropped significantly. We had 1.6 months of inventory. And what does that mean? Well, it means that if nothing else comes on the market, it would take 1.6 months for everything that's on the market to sell. And that's way low. We want that number for a healthy market to be about 6%. So 1.6 months, way too low. All right, and that is a 47% decrease from last year. Huge change. Okay, our inventory is lower than it was. Not that it's much lower than it was, but the increase in the amount of buyers has really made that number look really bad. And the total active inventory at the end of the year was 1,240, which is a 41% decrease from last year. So inventory levels are low, sales are high, increase in home value. So where are we going with this? So Danielle Hale is the chief economist for Realtor.com, and she has predicted that we're going to see for 2021, we're going to see a 7% increase in the amount of sales, and we're going to see, which is about on par for what we saw last year, and she's predicting a 5.7% increase in the sales prices. So that's a little bit lower than what we saw. So if those numbers ring true, we're going to see about 9,100 houses sell in 2021 in Bergen County, and they're going to sell on average, forget this, $703,521. Huge. Over $700,000 for an average sales price. And what does that put in the average person's pocket? $38,000. So if you have a house that's valued at $700,000, your value went up by $38,000 equity in your pocket. So let's talk about what is happening and what happened basically end of the year and what's going to continue into 2021. In December, we still saw very high numbers on average, not even so much for December, because December is usually a slow month. We saw high numbers for an average. So we saw over 800 houses sell in December. We continue to see a high average sales price. Actually, the average sales price in December was over $700,000. So we're already seeing that, numbers continue to rise. So the biggest changes in the market were actually on the low end and the high end of the market. So the low end, this was very surprising to me. So the under $400,000 market, which is on the lower end of our spectrum, we saw a 35% decrease in the amount of houses that sold, which was very shocking to me. I figured that more renters would be getting into the market, more intro-level houses would sell, but that was not the case. 35% less houses sold, but they sold for 4% more than they did last year, which was one of the higher numbers when you break it down into different segments. So 4% increase, but we saw a lot less houses sell. So good news for those that have those lower priced homes. Your equity is growing, so it's not just happening to the higher priced homes. But the higher priced houses are selling a lot more, a lot quicker, and for a lot more money. So if we look at the other end of the spectrum, the over $1 million houses, we saw a 51% increase in the amount of new houses. Now, what does that mean? Some of those higher priced homes, maybe they're going into, lower income tax states or lower property tax states. We might be losing some of those people. But we did see a lot of those houses sell. So we saw a 51% increase in new, and we saw a 48% increase in sold. So we might be losing some of our millionaires, but we've got a lot of people coming in from, the Jersey City, the Manhattan. Those people are moving in. And those people also saw a 4% increase in the average sales price. So the low end of the spectrum, the high end of the spectrum saw a 4% increase. Overall, we saw a 13% increase in our average sales price. So what does this mean going forward? Rates are likely still going to be staying low, under 3%. So if you are a buyer and you're putting that money together, you really don't want to wait too long. If we do continue to see, that increase in the average sales price, you might get priced out real quick. So if you are saving that money, try and put that on overdrive, try and get those things put away as fast as you possibly can, and talk to a lender. We have preferred lenders that we'd love to pass along to you. Just give me a call or a text. My number is 201-685-4788. If you're a seller, it's going to depend on your circumstances. Where are you going? How long have you been in your home? What are your goals? Are you upsizing? Are you downsizing? Are you relocating? What are you looking to do as a seller? Is it better to wait out 2021 and sell later? Maybe it is. But you want to have a conversation now, talk about your specific needs, your specific home, to figure out if now is a good time to sell or waiting is a good time to sell. And maybe it's a good time to refinance because those rates are still very low. So let's have a conversation. Let's chat. Give me a call or text. That same number, 201-685-4788. So again, my name is Ryan Gibbons from North Jersey Partners. If you've enjoyed any of this information, if you want to keep up on what's going on in the real estate market, I'd love if you gave us a click down on the subscribe button and follow us, because we share a lot of great information on what it means to live here in Bergen County. And you can check us out at bergencounty.living.net, learn a lot about the area, and you can search houses. But please hit that subscribe button, follow us to stay in touch on what is going on here in our community right here in Bergen County. So thanks again for watching. My name's Ryan Gibbons from North Jersey Partners, brokered by eXp Realty. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.